Thanks for joining us today on The Perfect X. My name is Sherry, and this is my co host, Ben.
Hi everyone, this is Ben.
And today we are talking about love languages.
hmm
How was your weekend? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. My weekend was good. It was a friend's birthday, so we hung out in this. It's a new, well, it's like 8 months old place. Kind of new for us. I've never been there, and they
Mhm.
have like bowling, and they also have. They're like little rooms where it's screens, and so you can like shoot hoops or shoot penalty kicks or like golf and you're just hitting it towards a screen. And they have also live music starting at 7, which we saw. But yeah, we were bowling and just having some drinks and dinner with her family and friends. And yeah, and yesterday I helped out a friend that needed some help with a Spanish test. So
Oh, no way. For what? For high school or something, or college, or like what's the Spanish test for?
college, yeah,
Oh,
college. So yeah.
Jesus, you have some young friends. You must feel real old.
So she's not that young. She's going back to study.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I just
she's young, but not that young. Not like starting college.
I
She's like
just got an
restarting.
invite for my 20-year high school reunion, and I was like, fuck, like one, I'm not going because I mean, there's Facebook, and I all the people I need to talk to, I still talk to, but and I love high school. I had a great high school, I mean, it's Canada, like this, pretty chill, but I was like 20 years. I seriously feel like I just graduated.
I know it's weird, right?
It goes by so quick. Like
Yeah.
I tell people I'm like 40 now, even though I've like got a couple more years. And I just can't believe it. Like I feel like I'm 20, maybe 22. Like, I've got the mentality of a 22-year-old.
I know. Yeah, I still act sometimes. I feel like shit, I can't believe I'm 40, but I still act like if I'm 25. Maybe not 20, but yeah.
But you know what the hard thing is? When you meet a 25-year-old, you're like, well, you're so fucking immature. I'm definitely not 25. But I mentally feel like I'm 25 until you're around the 25-year-old. You're like, oh, can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not my. They just have so much to learn. Like I was such an idiot in my early. I mean, I was a lot of fun, but until my
Yeah.
mid 20s, I was. I mean, mid almost late 20s, I was a complete idiot. I would even say up to 30. I really started saying that I started to develop at 30. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's nuts.
I felt kind of dumb. I wish I was like, I mean, I wish I could go back when I was 30, but with the same knowledge that I have right now.
Really? You would
Yeah.
want to redo that? It's so funny. I have another guy friend who just said the same thing. He's like, I wish I can go back in my 20s, but with the money he has now. He's
Yeah, I
like,
know. So
but what's
not
with
that I
your
want to go, not that I want to be 30, I just wish like now knowing what I know, I'm like, oh, I would have done things a bit different.
But if you had done things a bit different, you would be different. So I don't understand that wanting to go back and do things differently. Like I fucked up so much in my 20s and I don't want to go back and fix any of it because you wouldn't be who you are and you wouldn't know what you know had you not done those things, you
I
know?
don't know. I don't know. But
I
you
don't
already
get the
know
wanting to
like
rewrite
you
history.
but you already know what can happen if you make those decisions, but you just make better ones, like, oh,
But you
instead of doing this, could have done that. But then you know who you're gonna hang out. Like try to follow the same thing except changing, I don't know, like
but why?
invest.
You know for sure because you did those things.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but like investing in stock, or
Oh, I mean, but maybe you wouldn't be like as driven into something. Like I was telling my friend, like if you had had the money in your 20s, you wouldn't work as hard as you are in your 30s and been as successful as you are today. Like you're destined and you are where you're meant to be based on those things you did. Like if you had invested in your stocks, you would have been a huge asshole in your 30s because you had all this money. Like that's just not your journey.
I don't think so. I think I would have been the same. Um, yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know. If you
yeah.
win the lottery and you become this massive asshole, we are all gonna remember you said this. They're all gonna remember.
The
It's just
lottery is super crazy right now.
oh
Nine
why what?
hundred thousand dollars. $900 million.
But don't doesn't like the government take half, so you get like 400 million or something?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Still a
yeah,
lot.
it's
Still a lot.
yeah, yeah. So,
Still a lot.
but I don't
Jesus.
think I would be an asshole.
I don't know. Like, have you ever seen those people who win the lottery? There's like horror stories. There's like there was a show, like I forgot what it was called, but it was like what happens after people win the lottery. And some of them like become so depressed and so fucking like their life goes downhill so much because everybody around them uses them and they don't know who their friends are. Like you're just like for whatever reasons, like maybe now you're gonna do the stocks differently. You also could have lost a ton of money in the stocks. I know people who've lost millions in the stocks.
Well, yeah, I
So
know.
you don't
But
know.
yeah, if I win the lottery, I would just disappear. Yeah, I would not tell anyone. Like
Just
be, yeah.
Just make sure you record with me on Friday and Mondays. That's all I ask for. You can disappear. Just find a cell phone random. You can even call me on burner phones every Friday and Monday. I'll know.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. How
All
was
right,
your
so yeah.
weekend?
I had a really good weekend. We had tons of fun. I was with Massa all weekend.
Hmm.
We didn't have any dates lined up or anything. I had a really good learning experience this weekend, even though like me and her, we never ever argue, but we are like family, so we always express ourselves. But I have a really big problem with saying like I have an "I told you so" problem. Like I am huge on "I told you so." I told you so. I love when I'm right. I admit when
Hmm.
I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But when I am right, I will shove it in your face till like there's no end. And Massa is so patient with me, so I was 100% in the wrong. Like I had gotten Rockstar parking to the bar we were going to go to, like literally parked right in front, but it was only for 2 hours. And
Hmm.
I we never like we always have to like I never have cash. I hate carrying cash, so it's like so annoying to valet. But when you have to valet, like you gotta go get cash, like it's a whole thing. And she told me, no, this valet validates. And I was like, no, they only validate for like an hour. So I'm already like parked for 2 hours. I'll just like, we'll just, and we usually don't stay past 2 hours anyways. We get, we leave. So,
Hmm.
and she was like, no, it's for all night, just move your car. And she was doing me a favor. Like, I would have told her to move her car too. But I was like, they never validate for the whole night. And I didn't have cash. And once we get there, I park my car, I give my car, and then I ask the guy, is it for the whole night? And he's like, no. And he's like, it's just for a portion. I'm like, I told you. She's like, well, I'll pay you. Obviously, like, it's not a big deal. I can pay her back whatever. I was like, no, I wanted to say I was right. So I just started my I told you so. Like, it's 10, 12, maybe 20 bucks. Like, it's not a big deal, but I can't let go. Like, it could be the most mini school things. Like, and I do this with my mom and dad, like, the worst. When I want to say I told you so, like, and she's like, who cares? Like, just let it go. And I was like, no, just admit I told you. And so she's like, no. And she's stubborn too. She's like, no, because you would have told me to move the car too. It's like, I know, I would have told her. But I just wanted her to say, she's like, who cares? I'll pay for it. I'm like, no, I don't care about the money. Like, I just need you to say I was right. And I could not let it go. And then the funniest part, it was for Soho House. And then the guy's like, well, I have news for you guys anyways. We're like, what? He's like, you need a membership to come into this bar. So it just kept getting more and more embarrassing. We're like, oh, how much is the membership? We'll just pay. And he's like, I think it was like $3,000 or something. And
Oh
he's like
shit.
2,000 something. We're like, like, so we'll just get our validations and leave. like,
You
like,
didn't want a membership? Come on.
I mean, we're definitely actually thinking about it now. We're both thinking about it. But the funny thing is, so this happens. So we're going to get our cars, and I'm still at the point where I need her to say I was right. So I'm like, just admit. And so we're waiting for our cars, and she's like, God, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, I told you so. And at this point, we don't have to pay for anything. So it's not even like, it's really not a money thing. It was never a money thing. I just still need her to tell me I'm right. And so
Yeah.
I couldn't drop it. Then finally I was like, actually I'm over it. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah, because you said every fucking thing you needed to say and now you're over. But we always laugh about these things after. Like she has her quirks, I have my quirks. But I didn't drop it. I mean, we got to the next bar and then she finally told me to shut the fuck up and I realized I wouldn't get the I told you so you were right.
I have a
So
friend. she's like really shy, like, but she has really good jokes. Like when she makes a joke is really good. And whenever she's right, she always is like, "Sorry, what did you say?" But like she wants you to repeat it, but like she says it, and you're not expecting her to be like in a snarky way, you know. So you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that you were right, and she's like, "Yeah, I know, I heard it the first time," and it's just like it kills you because you're like, "Oh shit!" Like like I had to say it twice, and she's like laughing. But yeah,
But I don't. I gotta like. I mean, that's pretty smart of her. But I gotta say, it's one of the worst. It's one of my worst traits. I'm really working on it. I mean, I thought I had done better until that until Friday night. I saw I did it. But I think your friend is genius because you don't understand. Like, so for some people, being right, like she gets it twice out of you. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
love being right, and I used to be like that, but now I'm like, now I because I have a friend that she gets like super annoyed when I do that, and so now I'm just like,
it
yeah,
is the
whatever,
worst
I was
thing.
right. Yeah,
And I'm
I
so
know.
petty. I do it for like the smallest things, like the smallest thing. Like one time I named one of my nieces, and one time my mom said that no, we named her that because my brother had visited the city, and I know for my sister and I, like, no offense, but we're not paying attention to what my brother does so intently to name a city after somewhere he's traveled. Like I named her, and I guess this is one of the bigger things, but I do get petty. Even like if I say something is like available at Costco. My dad's like, no, I was just at Costco. It's not available. I will not only call Costco to confirm, I'll have the person on hold call my dad, put it in a three-way just to tell my dad I was
That's
right.
petty.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
petty. Yeah.
petty. The name
Uh,
one actually, like as I say, it isn't that petty, but like it became like everybody on the house, like the entire family had to get on the phone just so I could say, so my sister could clarify who named the kid. Like I am so petty, but it was one of my learning moments. And after like we had so much fun. Like me and her get over things so quickly. But after this, I'm like, by the way, I'm really sorry. Like it was such a petty,
you're so
such a
petty,
petty
LaBelle.
thing. Petty Lavelle. Petty
Hmm.
Lavelle. I mean, God bless you for getting over it. But
Yeah.
all right, all right. Let's go into the love languages.
Love languages. Yes. Tell me what about the love
Do you want
languages?
do you want me to read them or do you want?
You
Okay.
you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so there are five, they say, this is not something you and I created, this is the saying, is that there are five love languages, okay? I'll
Hmm.
name them and then I'll explain them each. So the first one, well, on the list, the first one is words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. And then
Okay.
I'll explain them. So words of affirmation mean verbal expressions of love, appreciation, and encouragement.
Hmm.
This quality time is giving another person your undivided attention. The third, physical touch, connection through appropriate physical touch in a non sexual or sexual way. Acts of service, so selfless, thoughtful acts that make a person's life easier. And then receiving gifts, which is pretty self explanatory,
Yeah.
tangible tokens of love and thoughtfulness. So those are the
Okay.
five.
Which one is yours? Which one do you feel is yours?
Mine is so obvious. Mine is receiving gifts is like top of the fucking line. I love surprises and gifts. I'm such a sucker, and I'll explain further after, but I'm such a sucker for gifts. Like, I mean, a good way to get me to stop saying I told you so is to just shut me up with a gift. Like, and it doesn't matter big or small, I love gifts. And the second is acts of service. I love when someone, because I'm not really good at asking for help. So if
Yeah.
someone kind of sees where I need help and kind of jumps in, that person, like, I can't even explain, that really gets to me. What about you?
Um. So for me, I think it would be quality time.
That makes sense.
Um. Yeah. I don't like when like if I'm talking to you or I want you to pay attention. Or if we're having dinner, I want you to pay attention. I don't want you to be on your phone. And it's not that I'm being needy. It's just like if we're together, let's just enjoy the time together. I don't mind if we're both like just something on the TV and we're both on our phones and just like it doesn't matter, like I'm fine with that. But when it's you or like me and that person time, it's for me it has to be like the undivided attention.
Okay.
And Maybe acts of service, and that's because how I am. But yeah, I mean,
Well, that's actually interesting. If so, what do you also like? So that you said access service is what you're good at. So, do you
yeah.
feel like your both quality time is like if what do you think you're good at in these five?
Um, I think I'm maybe words of affirmation
Hmm.
and acts of service. I think I mean I'm good at quality time, but that's something that I just have like I mean I'm always gonna be like that. I mean, but I really like to be able to like if somebody's going through a tough moment or just appreciate or hey, thank you for doing this. You know, like I do like giving words of affirmation, but my top is act of service. Like,
I mean, just in knowing you and the time that I have, you're always helping people out. Every time I
yeah,
like talk to you, or reach out, or whatever, you're like either watching someone's animals, and that's like array of animals, birds, parrot, like I mean, parrots, dogs, like it doesn't
cats,
matter. Cats. I'm sure that
a
there's like,
rat.
yeah, well, rats are so cute, but I would be surprised if there's like a donkey in your backyard right now. Like, like
I grew up
you're
with a donkey.
I know you told me, which is you're
Yeah,
so lucky. But you
yeah,
are an acts of service person for sure. But
yeah,
words of affirmation too. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah. What about you?
I'm definitely words of affirmation. Like everybody comes to me for advice, and I'm
Mhm.
not a sugarcoater. Like I'm always really honest. So my words of affirmation might not always come like in a pretty bow, but I do am honest and encouraging. And I don't know, it's kind of weird because it depends on who the person is. Like, I don't touch my phone very often when I'm with people. Like, I believe in spending quality time and giving that person my attention.
Yeah,
Um, but it depends. Like, when I'm really close with someone, then yeah, if I'm with them a lot, like, I used to spend a lot of time with my two best friends that lived upstairs next door. Well, we're together all day long. So I do touch my phone when I'm with them. So I would say maybe quality time is my second one. But one thing, the reason why I'm also not sure is I'm not a very physical, I am a touchy person. Like I do touch people when I talk and stuff. But I'm not very like cuddly with the person I'm with unless I really, really like them. Like the few people I really was emotionally connected with, I was very physical touch. So
yeah,
I'm not sure between quality time and physical touch, because yeah, between those two.
yeah. I get it. I get it. And yeah. I mean, I like the physical touch. I mean, I feel we all have a little bit of everything, you know.
For
But
sure, for sure.
yeah, but I show my love and appreciation with acts of service, and I do it without sometimes without even they asking me. I'm always offering it, you know, like hey, whatever you need, I'm here, and that's why a lot of people are like, hey, can you help me out with your truck because I need to move something? I'm like, yeah, sure.
It's really interesting that you say because I actually appreciate people like you so much. Like I'm not very good at asking for help, and the people who are closest to me, like two of my best girlfriends, are both married. And when my dog was sick, so my dog had bone cancer and his leg got amputated, and
Oh,
at the time, like I wasn't very good at asking for help. But it's so interesting. Like my girlfriends, like one of them, she would send her husband downstairs to pick him up towards the end he couldn't walk, and he was a 120-pound Rottweiler. It's not like he was this light dog. And like
yeah,
he would carry him to go to the outside and like these type of things. And I really feel and like also like with her, she would have her husband do like so many things around my house or like like it was just I never really asked. She would just always say, "Oh, I'm gonna send him down to do this," or "I'm gonna blah blah blah." And my other girlfriend was the same way. Like her husband always, but I was like I'm close with both their husbands too. Like they just both like our friendships were being aware of what the other person needed. Like I wasn't good at expressing myself a lot. And like with that couple too, for instance, like they're emotionally a lot like me. So they would kind of pick up on things and just kind of like say, I know you feel like this, so blah blah blah. Like let's deal with it this way. So I feel that people like you really bring a lot to an individual who's not capable of reaching out more than you're even aware of. Like
yeah,
it's
and
something that usually that person can't even express because they can't express that they need help. So they can't, like, I can't express enough how those two couples meant friendship wise to me because it's just
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, and I also hate asking for help. You know, I'm like I can do it by myself. I don't mind like stuff like just going to the airport, you know, it's not that far away from I mean, it's not LA, right? But here
Yeah.
it's like maybe a 30-minute drive. And I mean, and sometimes I'm just going for 3 days, like out of town for 3 days. So I'm like, I'll just take my car, just park it, pay for the parking there, and then I have a car. And I have this friend, like her and I were really close, like really, really good friends. And 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 so she's always like, "Hey, at what time is your flight?" And I'm like, "It's at 6 in the morning." And she's like, "I'm picking you up. Don't worry about it." Like she's my she always takes me to the airport and picks me
I
up.
can't believe she
I
picked you up at
oh
6 in the morning. Like that's beyond kind.
well no, she picked me up at like 4:30 in the morning so I could be there
Oh
at
yeah.
5.
Six.
And
Sorry, yeah, six.
so
Well,
yeah.
knowing you, probably 3 in the morning, since you have to be there so early. But you're right. But yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say it was six.
But
Obviously.
I'm the same way with her. Like we are our like we always help each other by going to the like taking each other to the airport. And also I'm always up early and she doesn't sleep that well, so she's always up like at 5 in the morning. Like so it's not like I mean she's like, I'm gonna be up and she just brings her dog and we go to the airport and so yeah. But yeah, at least like now I know I can always count on her for that. But still,
Mhm.
it still I still have struggles asking for help. Like I still struggle with that.
And it's interesting that the thing you struggle with is the thing you're aware of that so you give to other people. That's really
Yeah.
interesting. That's really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I don't know why. And they're always telling me like what can I help you with? I'm like, no, 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 nothing. And they're like, you have to help me with this, you have to help me with that. And I'm like, no, really, it's fine. And but yeah,
Do you
I
think
get
that
like
you've ever Oh, sorry, go, you get like what?
mm-mm. Oh, I get like shy or like, oh no, 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 I'm fine, thanks. Like I just
But
hate it. I don't like
it's
asking for favors.
embarrassing. It's
Yeah,
embarrassing, right? Because you already feel like an inconvenience. So,
of course.
yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that someone won you over with your acts, with their act, sorry, your, I want to say access or your love languages? Do you think someone ever won you over with one?
Sorry, again, wait, what?
Like, do you think that somebody ever won you over? Like, you wouldn't have dated this person, but they were so good at touching your love languages that you ended up going for that person?
Oh, good question. I've never thought of that.
Never?
Um,
Oh, I've got
no,
two.
like no.
I've
Um,
got totally two examples of that. You've never ever had someone like just because the reason I say this is I think that love languages are great, but I also think that if you're not understanding of them, like when I was younger, I wasn't very aware. Like I didn't know what the fuck love languages were. It's just like. But I found that two very manipulative people that I engaged with mine are so I'm such a vocal person, so like
mhm.
talking about things I like and talking like I talk so much. I mean, it's not that hard to pick up on what I want and what I like.
Yeah.
And I found that if we're not aware and we're not careful, that our love language, just as gratifying as and amazing as they are, can also be used against us. So certain people can pick up on them and win you over. And I mean, gifting a woman is like so back in the 80s, 90s, how to win a woman over. So it's not that new. But I definitely think that like I've been suckered into two relationships that I knew were not for me, like two guys that were not my type, but they were so good for little things. Like they would even, one of them would even like send like little treats for my dog, and like those little tiny things slowly like chipped away at me because I kept feeling like so connected over something that really was a manipulative tactic. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It wasn't like a genuine thing. Like this guy kept asking me out. I kept saying I wasn't interested. And then he kept, in the guise of our friendship, sending gifts. And I mean, the one that like really won me over is like when I used to go out, I would always be like, okay, like after like really like hyping up the party and like being the liveliest one all over the place, I'd be like, all right, I gotta go, like with my dog. Like, and so I was always a joke. They're like, Sherry gets us all going, and then just as we're all like having the best time, she's like, bye, I miss my dog. And so he like sent me over. a camera. Like, and he's like, here, so you can see your dog when we're out. And I thought that was so thoughtful and just really fucking hit the spot. And I wasn't mature enough to like really see what the whole tactic was. I mean, also like how fucking stupid I am. This guy, like his job was for like security, like camera security and like cyber security, like for
Hmm.
major tech companies. He even used to work for the government. Like, so I mean, it's like we always joke in my house. We're like, oh, say hi. Right? Like we don't say, I won't say his name here, but like we wave at the camera because like that's what he does for a fucking living. But he sent this camera. I'm like a fucking idiot. It took 2 seconds for me to pop that shit up and install it. Like, but
Yeah.
I ended up dating him after for a while, for like a short period, because I was so touched by the gift. And later on, I even heard from other people like he knew that that was some way he could win me over with these little gifts. I mean, that one was a big one, but before that were just little things like treats for the dog, or like when we'd all go hang out as friends, like he knew I liked this chocolate and he would like bring a chocolate, like little things. But yeah, he totally, and he knew it. And so it was like taking a love language and winning me over with it.
I mean, that sucks because I mean, he's taking advantage of that of not that situation, but of like your love language.
Yeah.
When and I mean, you should not have fallen for that because just because it's one thing, it doesn't mean it's everything, you know?
What's really interesting is I was so immature at the time, like super fucking, like we said before, super
Yeah.
immature. Um, I didn't even think about it. I was just thinking like this person, but every like little gift was so specific. And I mean, I think I think love languages are great, but you need to be aware of yourself. Like now, I won't receive a gift from anyone or accept anything unless I'm interested. Like go now, like it was my birthday in April, and like I got a few gifts. Like guys brought me things, and I didn't take any gifts. There was one
Oh,
guy.
good.
Well, yeah,
That's
like
good
I
that I
would.
didn't send you anything.
Well, you I expect something from. You I expect a gift from you. But I mean, like I went on a date with a guy, and you kind of mentioned like, oh yeah, like they're like, oh blah blah, when's your birthday, whatever, and you tell them like a week ago, and it was like a first date, and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm not comfortable accepting this. It was a nice gift. It was like, but I didn't accept it. It was our first date. I didn't want to take anything. But I
Yeah.
had a guy send me a cake on my birthday. It was my favorite fucking cake, and I was interested in him. So yes, of course I accepted it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like that
But
guy,
also, yeah, sorry.
but also what? But also what?
No, but I mean, also a gift, a cake, I don't feel it's like a gift.
I thought it
A,
was really thoughtful. It was only we'd only gone on 2 dates, or was it?
well,
We only gone
I
on
know, but
one,
a cake is like, I don't consider
but he sent it, and it was my favorite cake. I
okay.
thought it was thoughtful.
No. I mean, it's thoughtful, but I don't consider that like a gift. Like,
What is he
like,
supposed to
oh,
get you? We've only been on 2 dates. We had only been on 2 dates.
well, you never know. People are crazy and they can buy you a purse or something.
Oh, I've had that happen too. Oh
You
my god.
see, it
But
happens,
but
and
I
I feel
didn't.
like,
But it was
I,
creepy when it happened.
well, I know, I have a friend that she also got something, and she was like, "Oh, should I keep it or not?" I don't know, but but um, but yeah, but I feel like a cake is a bit more like a,
I
hey,
think
happy
after
birthday.
2 dates, that's nice.
I
It
know
was
it's
my
super nice.
favorite
It's
one. It
super
was my
nice.
favorite one. Okay, but you're talking about something like expensive. I'll tell you something. And I'll tell you how aware I am of my love languages, okay, now. Because like
Okay.
now I'm so careful. Because I had a guy, he was super successful. And on our first date, he showed up and he had like one of those sports car, like two-seaters, like.
Yeah.
And he had, when I was like opening the door to get it, he didn't even come out of the car, whatever, which is fine.
Wow.
Um,
Terrible.
which I don't really mind. I don't like guy opening the door anyways. But he could have waited for me outside of the car. But anyways, I opened the door and there was like a Chanel bag, and it wasn't my birthday or anything. It was just our first date. We had been talking for like a week or so before the date, and we had like an okay connection, nothing extreme. Like he said I was funny, and like he took my jokes. I appreciated that I wasn't sensitive, but I wouldn't say it
Hmm.
was like the like massive connection. We hadn't met yet. And I asked him, I said, "Oh, you have a bag here. Do you want to put in the trunk or something?" He's like, "No, that's for you." And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this because I felt like no matter what goes on during this date, I feel like I somehow owe him if I accept the gift, or I feel kind of
You have to put out.
yeah. And I'm like, I just closed the door. I'm like, honestly, I'm not interested. And I left. And I remember he ran after me and everything. And I was like, no, I'm like, I don't need to explain this. Like, he was old enough to know that giving a girl like a whatever. I mean, I didn't open it, but like Chanel's like, I mean, it can't be cheaper than a couple grand. Like, I don't want to
Well,
feel
what
like
if
I
it
owe
was just a
you.
bag? What if it was
No,
just a bag
on
and it
the
had
first date,
Skittles in?
no.
No, what if it
Oh,
had
oh.
Skittles inside and it was just in a Chanel bag and like he was probably trying to make something funny about it.
That would have been, but there was a box. Like you can see, it was like one of their bags, and the box was there. Like it was up. I could see there was a box, and that's usually when you buy brand news, it comes in a box. It
You
would have been
never
fine
know.
if he had
Okay.
opened it and said it was just. But he was yelling like, "What do you
Snickers.
care? This is nothing for me. This is pocket change. I wanted to get it for you." I mean, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
So he was yelling that out. But you are right. I didn't even think about it. If he had done that, I would have been actually pretty pissed too.
Yeah, or maybe just like a rose or something, like I think that's and then you can totally tell like, hey, like if the girl is like, oh really? And it opens and it's that, and then she changes her face like, oh, then
If it
he
was
can
our
also tell.
third, if it was our
No, no,
third
no, no, no.
date,
But
I
then
would have.
maybe it was a test.
Well,
So
but let me tell you something. If it was our third date, and I would have really told. I think on the third date, go for it, get me the Chanel. But if I opened it and it was Skittles, I would have been really pissed.
why? You
Like,
cannot get upset about that. No.
yeah, I mean, I'm upset for the first day, but on the third day, gift away, honey. Like, if I'm going on 3 dates for you, I'm definitely interested. So gift away. And if there's a fucking Chanel, and I had a guy once do that. I had an ex, and one Christmas, this is how old I am. He wrapped a bunch of phone booths, like what are not phone booths, phone. Oh my
Books.
god, books. What is the word?
Like yellow pages?
Yeah, he wrapped a bunch of yellow pages and he thought it was the funniest gift. And I thought he was the biggest piece of shit I've ever met. Like,
Wow. You say
I
you're
mean,
funny and you cannot take a fucking joke like that?
I don't like gift pranks. I told you it's my love language. If you're gonna gift me, like I saw this
Okay.
massive gift and I thought like a box of shoes or something. It was a fucking phone book. I was pissed. I was pissed. I did get a David Yurman bracelet and ring after, or I think it was before or something. I can't even remember. And he considered that the gift, which I also didn't consider the gift because it wasn't on Christmas, it wasn't wrapped. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at
Well, yeah,
all. I
but
don't
that's
like.
true. Like if that's your love language, then yeah, you would totally be
Don't play with
disappointed.
it.
I don't like gifts. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like people are like, what can I do? No, it's fine. You don't have to give me anything. I don't like that's why I don't like Christmas. I'm like, I don't need to be
What?
giving gifts and yeah, we'll talk about that another day. But
Well,
yeah.
good. I don't like giving gifts, so I won't get you anything. But listen,
Yeah,
but
my
Christmas.
birthday was also in April and I didn't get shit from you, so
Yeah, well, I mean, expect it every April. You'll get the same thing every April. Nothing. That's what
well
you'll get.
you too.
I'll
And
send you
every
a phone
Christmas.
book. I'll send you a phone book so you can see how funny it is.
I gotta send you a Chanel bag, but empty cardboard bag.
I honestly think that like on a third date, go for it. But on the first date, you feel like expectant. You know what I mean?
No, not even a third date. Fuck no.
Yeah, on the third date. If I'm
No.
on a third date with someone, I'm definitely interested. I don't go on second dates barely ever. So if there's a third date, I'm super interested. For sure, super
Mm,
interested. Yeah, third date
okay.
to me. I mean, we're almost like we're one step away from the engagement ring. I'm just joking.
You already well, you have to put out then on the third date.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
Eh.
before the ring. Definitely. I don't have a number. I told you I don't have a number. Like when it feels natural, it feels natural to happen. If it's on the first,
I
second,
know,
third.
but
But I don't want it to
okay.
feel like I owe you. And if it's, I wouldn't feel like on the third date if a guy gifted something, he would expect it. I would think that there must be a connection. I feel like we're too old to go on third dates with someone if we're not interested. I would feel it's more natural.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share a funny a gift that broke up a relationship?
Yes.
So the same guy who sent me a camera and that's how manipulative he was. He loved my dog apparently and blah blah blah. he didn't like the fact that my dog went on the couch. He said that there's dog hair there, which actually there wasn't because there was dog hair everywhere. But the couch was a specific material that the dog hair wouldn't stick to it, so it would go on the floor, so it wouldn't stick
Okay.
to you or anything.
Yeah.
And under the cushion was a whole different story. But the cushion that you sat on didn't have dog hair, and he said, "I would like you to vacuum every time before I go on the sofa." And I was like, no, like I'm not, my house is clean. Like I'm a pretty clean person. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
vacuum. And anyways, my dog doesn't want you sitting on the left side of the sofa. That was his side. So it wasn't, he had his side. My dog didn't like anyone sitting on that side of the sofa. So he told me, he was like, I want you to do that. And then I was like, no, it's never gonna happen. And I had a Roomba at the time, like one of those robotic
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
vacuums. And so I didn't even have a vacuum that I could pick up and like put on the couch, but I was like, it's not gonna happen. And then he kept bringing it up, and I was like, dude, just don't come over and don't sit on the couch, or just sit on another cushion. Like there was, the couch was big enough, and there was another couch like section that you could sit on. Like you don't need to sit on that spot. And he kept bringing it up, and I kept not acknowledging it. And then one day, and like already I was like, why am I with him? Like we really don't make a lot of sense, and like I'm starting to like already question things. And then one day I get a delivery and it's this massive box. And I'm like, I didn't order anything. And he's like, calls me, he's like, hey, the package delivered. I'm like, what package? He's like, a vacuum. And I was like, come get your fucking vacuum. I didn't even bring it in the house. I'm like, it's done. Like 100% it's done. Like I was so insulted. So gifts can be just as dangerous. It was so fucking, until this day, everyone in my family, I broke up with him. I was totally done. Because you're making me like vacuum after my dog. Like, just don't fucking come over at this point. And everyone in my family to this point, we have
Of
a
course.
joke like, don't buy Sherry any home appliances. Like, yeah, but we don't. Nobody buys me home appliances anymore. Like, it's just like a no go in my family. But I just find that like, just as much as you love something, like a situation like getting a gift, it could also, those were
Of
two
course.
examples.
And that's what we spoke last time. Like, have you ever tried to change someone, or has anyone ever tried to change you? Like they're trying to change you and trying to make you do something that you're not gonna do. I mean, your house is clean, and he's like giving you shit to change how you do your stuff. And no,
Exactly. And it's also like, it was kind of like, he used the thing that he used to manipulate me into dating him to manipulate me into changing me. You know what I mean? Like it was
yeah,
this gifting thing. Like if I gift it to her, it'll change her. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
yeah,
kind of funny because the other guy who gifted me into a relationship, the other time it happened, he also used to gift me with stuff. Like I was chubby when we first met. I've gained and lost like the same 15 pounds my entire life. And at that time I was on the high. I was up to 15 pounds. And he used to gift me with like an extra small, like all the time with clothes, knowing I wasn't an extra small at the time. So it was like the same thing. It's like these manipulative tactics. And it's funny
yeah,
because both of those guys won me over with it and then tried to control, because it worked. Like if you control someone into dating you with like your love language thing, they also
yeah.
tried to control me with it. But I mean, those are the dark sides of the love languages. like, you know.
Well, yeah, no, but it's good to know that just because that's your love language doesn't mean that, oh, then that's the person for me, because it could be taken as bad. Like in everything todo en exceso es malo. Everything in oh shit, how do you translate it in
Can you
English?
say it again in Spanish? It sounded really cool.
Todo en exceso es malo.
Okay, so
Like
break it down.
every yeah, everything in like in like yeah, forget about it. Now
No,
I
come
I
on. Just do it word for word. Just translate it word for word.
wait.
Yeah. Taking
Everything
a
in
long time.
excess is bad.
Yeah. Well, no, but I don't think so. No, that's not true. Not. I mean, yes, you're right. Accessible, but I couldn't be with someone who doesn't give me my love languages.
Oh no, no, I know, but then they give you so much that you're like, okay, are you just trying to give me gifts? Like I don't know, like I feel like it
But
could
think
be
about it this way, like if I was with someone and he was gifting me or someone was giving you a ton of quality time or a lot of acts of service, I'm never going to be enough. It's never going to like I'm never going to get sick of it. It's never going to be enough if it comes from a good place. Do you know what I'm trying to
I
say?
feel I no, I feel it could go like it could go bad.
Huh.
If they're giving me like all this quality time, like sometimes you want time by yourself.
But a health oh, it's because it's an excess. I see what you're saying. I mean, gifting is never an excess, but I see what you're saying. But I mean, if you're with
Well,
someone
no,
and it's
because
healthy,
they
they'll
gave me,
understand that.
but they're giving you gifts that it's now changing you, and they're trying to manipulate you with excessive gifts.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is true. They do say everything in excess is, I mean, it's even a sin, like gluttony or whatever.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah, I guess everything in excess. I mean, and I'm sure like you do get sick of people if you spend too much time with them. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But you know, it's really interesting that you say that because I think that someone who knows you would know the healthy amount of affection that that you can accept and need to make
yeah,
what there's a saying, there's like on the Real Housewives, this started like a long time ago. I was watching this, like Real Housewives of Orange County. I hate this one girl. She's like been on it forever. She used to say, my love tank. Like, oh, he has to fill my love tank. And then she would say, my love tank is empty, And it was like the corniest fucking thing. But it's like, if you watch that show, everybody knows that saying now. And
yeah,
I think there's a healthy amount. Like, there was a guy who, like, she needs a lot of words of affirmation. And so he manipulated her with that. So you're right, it was excessive and he used it against her. But then not enough of it, then your love tank is empty. So I guess you're right. There has to be like a healthy medium. But I think the
correct.
right
Yeah,
person knows what you need. Like you may need more affection than I may need. And if someone is with you, they'll know what's too little for you. And when someone's with me, they'll know it's too much for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I guess it's being with someone where you're aware of it.
yeah. Of course. And like I don't mind giving gifts, but I'm just not gonna like. I do love giving gifts, but I give them when I know that it's got that person is really gonna like it. Like I'm like I really invest my time in giving good gifts. Like I know what that person wants or needs, or and I look into it and I get that person that.
That gift.
I
That's
I don't I
thoughtful.
don't just yeah I don't give just like, oh hey, how are you? I bought you a purse. Hey, I bought you a no. Like
And you're
no,
not
I
going to give
really
just cake.
yeah, no. Yeah, no. So yeah, but yeah.
But I
I
think
mean,
that knowing the person's love language, and even if it's not yours, and going out of your way to do it for that person, like I'm not very good at acts of service because I'm not like paid. I'm always happy to do stuff for people, but I'm like, and there's certain things that I like. Like I love like if I'm dating someone, like making sure my home has things that they like, or making sure that like I make dinner the things that they like. In that sense, I'm good, or helping them out when they need it. But I'm not always aware of what someone needs if they don't express it. So
yeah,
if a guy told me he acts of service is a thing, I would have to work on that and go out of my way. And for you, maybe it would be like the gifting. And so that person going out of their way to be thoughtful to fill your love tank, as they say, is so kind in my eyes. Like it doesn't matter, you know, how they do it. Like if for you giving gifts is hard, then you go out of your way and you're thoughtful and you're really careful what you get that person. I think that person would appreciate it knowing that that's because you don't care about gifts. So now you're
yeah.
going out of your way to do it. Whatever it is that you do, I'm sure that they would appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Like
Of
I think
course.
it's so important to have in a healthy relationship to understand the other person's love language and take it into account and adapt it so that you're able to provide that person's needs so they feel loved.
Yeah. No, of course, of course. That's something that both of us or whoever is in a relationship, me and my partner, we both need to work on that because but that if I like that this person is not on their phone, hey, when I'm talking to you, just pay attention to me. And then
Mm-hmm.
after a while, if it's just like over and over that she keeps not doing that, then I gotta be like, hey, like you're not working, you're not putting part of You know, you're not working on that, and it sucks. So so I think that that could really affect a relationship.
Well, the reality is like if you have certain things that make you feel loved and that you're not getting them, there's no way that you can continue a relationship in a healthy manner without resentment. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah,
So, and that's why it's important, like, even if it's not that person's love language, to for them to adapt it so that you feel loved. I
yeah,
think that's just a natural and healthy way of moving forward so that both people feel that they're in a loving relationship, that one that fills their needs, because otherwise, how are you going to fill it? Like,
yeah.
and it can't always be like specific, like someone can't always go out of their way to like get you gifts. You know what I mean? Like it can't be like that, but it has to be like, like I know couples, like one, I have a friend who she's not a gifter at all, she doesn't care for gifts, she doesn't want gifts, and he's the opposite. So Christmas comes around, she doesn't get him anything. Well, it really hurts his feelings, you know what I mean?
Of
Like,
course, yeah,
so it, like, he just feels like she just doesn't give a shit enough, but because a gift would never mean anything, like you have to take that in account of how that person feels wanted, you know?
yeah,
So I think
and
it's really important.
yeah, and communicating that. I mean, we've talked about this so many times. Like, if you're not communicating with your couple, and you're not telling them, hey, this is how it's making me feel, because how would I even know that me not giving you gifts, you feel sad, you feel like disappointed, or if you never told me.
Well, see, that's a hard thing too, though. So I think you have to do that. You have to communicate. It's the mature way of, no one's a mind reader. The mature way of
Yeah,
having a healthy relationship is communicating. But, like something that I even struggle with today is expressing the things I need to feel loved. Because then you always wonder, did the person want to do this or they feel forced to do it? So it is a hard thing to do. It's something that needs to be done, like the hardest things in life that make your life easier.
yeah,
Sorry, some of
but
the
a
some
lot
of
of
the things that
people
make
don't
your life
know.
easier are hard, but
A lot of people don't know about these love languages, or just don't pay attention to it, or just like have never heard about it. And so how would they know, like, but if
but you
if
you got to express what you need in a relationship. Like if
of
you for
course,
you,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's really hard. It's one of the things you have to do because it'll make your relationship in the long run much healthier. But it is very, very hard to be like, hey, when you're hanging out with me, I don't feel taken care of or wanted or needed when you're not paying attention to like going out of your way to do an act of service. You know what I mean? So it's a hard
yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
but
it is.
but
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 but if
it's
if
important.
you love that person, trust that person, and you should be able to share that.
Yeah, yeah, and receive it. Like the hardest part is the receiving. Like for me at least, like I know like once I've expressed it, I then always feel like, oh, this person feels forced like doing it, and then I'm like, I almost don't want it. But
Yeah,
that's a very immature way of looking at it. So I'm just
but
sharing
that's
that
you.
because yeah, it is. It is my maturity. It's just like my I told you so. But I'm just sharing that so that people know that it don't expect this to be so easy because it's not very easy. It's not an easy conversation, but it is a
Yeah,
much needed one. And then receiving it on the other hand is also hard once you've had that conversation. For some people, myself, but you
yeah,
have to go through that because otherwise you're just going to build resentment and expecting this person to be a fucking mind reader, and it's just not, you're not going to feel like your love tank is full. You're just going to always feel like this person's not doing the things that make me specifically feel wanted. And,
yeah,
it may be the complete opposite of what makes them feel wanted. So it doesn't even cross their mind. So it
yeah,
is a very, very hard conversation, but it is a must.
yeah. Like if you and me were dating, I probably would not even give you all the gifts that you want.
Hmm.
But
I know for sure. I
yeah,
already know that.
and then if you're giving me gifts, I'm gonna be like, hey, stop it. Like I don't care about it. Like that's not what I want. So, but if
Which
we
is
didn't talk about
interesting.
it,
Which is
yeah,
interesting because I am exactly that. Like I could be thinking that I'm fully doing whatever makes you happy, and you're like, dude, like this girl just keeps giving me random shit, and she's not giving me time. That's what I
yeah,
need. No, it's
yeah,
a really important thing.
yeah,
But well, do you have
true.
anything else you want to say?
No, no, I think we covered everything about love language,
So next week we're talking about boundaries.
boundaries.
Which is funny. You sent me a meme on boundaries this week.
I know. And I had not even like read what like the notes and anything, and I
Mhm.
saw it and I thought of you and I was like, oh, it's a good thing to share.
Do you have it? Should we read it?
Let me
I think I
see.
have it. I have it
Do
in
you
my,
have it?
yeah, let me pull it up. You wrote,
I
and I
just
loved
opened
it.
my I just opened my phone. It's 104 degrees right now.
Oh, Jesus. But it, I mean, we deserve it. It's summer. It says, I used to tolerate a lot because I didn't want to lose people, but I didn't give a fuck. But I don't give a fuck now. Boundaries.
Yeah.
I like that. But it's true, we do. Like, actually, and I'm so glad we're talking about this next week because I absolutely had zero boundaries my entire life until the last few years. And I'm actually learning it from my girlfriend now. She's taught me a lot about boundaries, and they're so important, and you really realize who fits in your life. And I've not like fought or like had issues, but I've slowly distanced myself with a lot of people based on the fact that they have absolutely no respect of my boundaries. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I mean, we'll talk about it next week. It's also my
Yeah,
fault
we'll
that I don't
talk
have
about it
them.
next week.
Yeah, so it's a good
Yeah.
topic. So next week, boundaries.
Yeah. Don't forget to listen to us for next week about boundaries. And don't forget to follow us also on Instagram. We're the perfect underscore letter X. And if you have any questions or any, or you just want to tell us something, talk about something, you can totally email us at the perfect X, no underscore, at hotmail.com.
Oh, and also please follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave your comments, rate us. Again, the perfect X. It's just the perfect X, the letter X. Please like follow and share us so we can get more followers. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool. I'll talk to
Please
you
do.
on Friday.
Yes, talk to you on Friday. I thought it was Friday today. Yes, it's barely Monday.
It's
Talk
Monday.
to you on Friday then.
I'll talk to you Friday. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.